everyone. Thank you for joining in this session. So, this partner webinar for the APAC region has been organized today by Vembu, and me. This is Pranav from the product management team of Vembu. Along with me, I have Nivas, one of the senior product analysts from our same team. So, he is a co-organizer and he's going to be handling the session for you. We also have Harini, Jilpriya, Aravind and Akash, the respective account managers of the APAC regions. So this webinar is going to be in a listen-only mode completely. That's the ground rules of this webinar. And if you have any questions by then, you can drop your questions at the Q&A box nearby your screen. So we do have our account managers to answer all your questions, and if time permits, we'll have a discussion regarding the Q&A at the end of the session. So thank you once again for joining in this session. The webinar now starts. Nivas, thank you.
Yeah, okay. So everyone, thanks for joining this session with me. So I'm Nivas from Vembu Technologies. So I'm working as a product analyst at Vembu. So I'm the one who is going to take care of this particular session. Okay, yeah, so we are at the edge of releasing the version 5.0 GA. So this webinar is just to announce the partners about the new features and functionalities that are coming in version 5.0. Okay, so this is the titles for this today's webinar. Okay, so with this, so we'll get started. So and for the new partners or the employees who join the partner organization, this is just an introduction about the Vembu Technologies. Okay, so we are the company founded in the year 2002, and it is headquartered in US. And all the operations like the development, testing, and other operations are happening from India. So currently, we set our footprints over 100 plus countries. Means businesses from 100 plus countries are using Vembu BDR to protect their business critical data. And yeah, in and around 60,000 plus businesses are using Vembu BDR Suite now. Yeah, we also have a very good partner base of around some 4,000 plus partners across the globe, reselling, distributing, and providing services to your clients using Vembu. So this is a small introduction. And so this is our partner, the technology partners that we are partnering with in developing the solution for the various IT infrastructures. Like you can see, we are partnering with VMware, Microsoft NetApp, HP, Red Hat, and AWS. Okay, this is a small introduction. So yeah, with this, we'll directly jump into the topics for the today's webinar. So that is what's new in Vembu BDR Suite version 5.0. Actually, so we have made some changes in the product line, so that I will explain in the later slides. So we'll just see what are the new features that are coming in version 5.0. Okay, so you already aware that Vembu is having two product lines. One is the Vembu BDR Suite, and the second one is the Vembu Cloud BDR Suite. The Vembu BDR Suite is primarily for the customers who want to store the backup data in on-premise storage repository, and Cloud BDR Suite is for the customers who want to store it on the directly the backup data directly into the cloud. Okay, so cumulatively we have brought a lot of new features and functionalities in this version 5.0. So currently Vembu is running version 4.2.0 update 1. So yeah, and we have recently released the RC build for this version 5.0, but the RC build is totally only for the fresh installation. And yeah, in a day or two, so we are planning to release the GA. And yeah, so existing users and also the new deployments can, new customers can also deploy version 5.0 from that. Okay. So yeah, let's see what are the new features that are coming in the 5.0. Actually, so I categorize this into two. So we are bringing in new support from version 5.0, and we are introducing some new features, and we also upgraded the existing features. That means we have enhanced some of the existing features. So we are going to see everything in detail now. Okay, yeah. So yeah, so we in version 5.0, so we are bringing backup support for these four. The first one, we are in Office Microsoft 365 backup. We are bringing in SharePoint Online backup support. yeah, most of this new backup support and the new features are based on the requests from our partners and customers. So we got a lot of requirements and feature requests from our partners. So before starting this version 5.0 project, so we just segregated all the feature requests. So we prioritized and then we started the project. Yeah. So most of the feature requests are from the partners like you. So yeah, the first support is the SharePoint Online Backup. So previously, Vembu support just backing up of the Office 365 mailbox, contacts, calendars. So we now support SharePoint Online. So you can now back up your SharePoint sites, libraries, folder items, everything. And you can store these backup data of the SharePoint Online into the local storage repository. So that we are introducing the SharePoint Online Backup. And yeah, the demand for Microsoft Team Backup. So we got a lot of requests in to back up the Microsoft Teams. And yeah, so Microsoft Team Backup is coming in version 5.0. So you can back up all your chats, everything. And again, you can store it in your local storage repository. And the Google Workspace Backup. So previously, the Google Workspace Backup is in beta mode. So it has very limited features and functionalities. Now it is officially released. You can use the Vembu Google Workspace Backup for the production use from version 5.0. Now you can back up your mailbox, contacts, calendars, and even the files and folders from Google Drive. Yeah, from the Google Workspace. Then we are introducing the on-premise backup support for the AWS. Like you can configure the backup for AWS directly from the backup server itself. So yeah, previously Vembu had a backup for AWS, but it requires initial. You need to do some manual works in creating the CloudFormation templates. Like you have to create a CloudFormation template using the applications we provide, and then you have to configure the backup from the cloud server. So yeah, we are removing all the complexity. It is more easy and more flexible now. You just install the Vembu backup server. From the backup server itself, you can connect to your AWS account and create a backup for AWS EC2 instances. Okay, so these are the 4 major supports that are coming to the Vembu BDR Suite of products from version 5.0. Okay. Next, we are adding, we are bringing lot of new features in the 5.0. Let's see the new features that are coming in version 5.0. The first one is rotated drives as a storage. So you can now use the external drives, like the rotated drives, to store your backup data. So using these rotated drives, so you can periodically send the backup data to the external hard drives, and yeah, so and you can swap them on regular basis. So again, if you're using the older drives for the backup destination, again, it just overwrite the data and send the new backup data to it. So yeah, this is mostly used for if you want to store this backup data, hot backups in different disk, then this feature will come in handy. Yeah, you can now create your new repository from the storage repository section itself. Okay, yeah. So I'm just, this is a slide. So I will explain all the products, all the new product support, the features in the slide. Later, I'm having a small demo setup with me. So I will share my screen and I will explain how this works. Yeah. So next one is we started supporting replication for the Hyper-V VMs. So until version 4.0, so you can just replicate the VMware virtual machines from one ESXi to another ESXi. Now you can, from version 5.0, you can replicate the Hyper-V virtual machines also. So if you have a Hyper-V virtual machines along with the backup, you can also replicate it. You can replicate these virtual machines from one Hyper-V host to another Hyper-V host. If something goes wrong, you can just fail over the replicated VM and you can continue with your work. Okay, so that is the Hyper-V replication. So if you are aware of the VMware replication, this Hyper-V replication is similar to that. And next is parallel VM and disk processing. So this feature is requested by many of our partners. to optimally use the resources of the backup server. So previously you can run only the backup jobs in parallel, and again, if you want to customize this parallel job processing, you have to do some changes in the conf file, and then you have to restart the application. We totally simplified it in the version 5.0. So from the user interface itself, you can set up the parallel VM and disk processing. You can specify the number of backup jobs that need to be processed, and inside a backup job, the number of virtual machines or disks that need to be processed. You can simplify and you can specify these settings from the user interface itself. So based on the resource of the backup server, you can modify it based on your requirement. Like, yeah, so the backup jobs can also run in parallel. And inside, for example, if you have some 15 to 20 virtual machines in a single job, and if you want to process 3 VMs in a backup job means, so you can also specify that from the UI. Then the next one is the multi-host backup support. So yeah, previously if you want to backup multiple hosts, you have to either add a vCenter or a cluster server. Okay, it will list out all the hosts under the vCenter. Then you can specify the virtual machines, and you have to process you can create a backup for these virtual machines. It's even simplified now, and it's even more easier. You don't need a vCenter now to configure backup from multiple hosts. You just add all the hypervisors to the Vembu application. When creating a backup job, it shows you all the added ESXis. Okay, all the added hosts. You can select the virtual machines from different ESXi in a single backup job. So that the multi-host backup support, yeah, it's applicable for both VMware and Hyper-V, and also for the Windows disk image backup. So you can add the host, all the hosts will be listed. So you can just select the virtual machines or disks that you want to backup, and you can proceed with the backup configuration. Yeah. And next one is the backup job template. Again, this is one of the most awaited feature from Vembu. So the backup job configuration is even more simplified using this backup job template. So yeah, so you can make use of this template, and you can create one or more templates based on your frequently used setting. So the backup job settings you have, right? So you can create template, use this setting, and when creating a backup job, you can load all the settings from this available templates. It's simple. You can create a template by specifying the scheduling, retention policy, and other application of processing settings. You don't need, when creating a backup job, you don't need to do these settings again. So when creating a backup job, just select the already created template. The settings, the configuration settings for the backup job is directly loaded from these templates. Yeah, in simple 1 or 2 clicks, you can directly create a backup job for the selected entities or virtual machines or disks. Next is a synthetic full backup support. Yeah, so we are introducing the synthetic full backup from version 5.0. You don't need to create a full backup again and again, additional full backups. So we just make use of the older full backup and the incremental, and create a synthetic full backup for you based on your required schedule. Okay, so we have this additional full backup, but when you schedule the additional full backup in version 5.0, so we create a new snapshot and we process the full backup again. And yeah, it requires time that depends that based on the size of the data you are backing up. But yeah, here you don't. We are reducing. You can save a lot of time by using this synthetic full backup. For example, if you have a requirement to take a full backup every weekend, like every Saturday or Sunday, instead of running an additional full backup again, so you can just select the synthetic full backup option, and you can set it to run on every Saturday. So we'll just make use of the previous incremental and the full backup, and then automatically create a synthetic full backup for you. However, we still have this additional full backup option. If you have any requirements to create a new full backup by creating a new fresh snapshot, you can still do that. Then advanced GFS retention. So we have improved the retention policy. So you will witness the full functional GFS retention from version 5.0. So you have we categorize this retention into two. So one is the basic retention, the second one is the GFS retention. In the GFS retention, you can specify how you want to merge the data and how many number of recovery points that you need to retain, and the different level of recovery points that you want to retain, you can set it in the GFS policy. Like if you want to retain 1 week of incremental daily backups and 2 weekly backups and 1 monthly full backup. So if you have such retention policies, so you can easily set up using the GFS retention. Then the instant boot with live migration. Again, this is one of the most awaited feature. So you can perform. So you already know about the working of the instant boot recovery, right? So you can, if something goes wrong, you can just perform the instant boot. The backup data from the backup storage is booted one of your hypervisors. So it can be a VM or Hyper-V or KVM. So it is instantly booted. The data is booted from the backup storage repository to provide you an instant access to the your production machines. But yeah, until version 5.0, so you cannot directly migrate the data to the production. So you have to close this instant boot session, and then you have to perform the full VM recovery. So then only the data along with the modifications you have done, it will be migrated to the production environment again. But it is more simplified now. You start the instant boot session, and when the instant boot session is ongoing, parallelly you can perform the live migration. So with all the changes that you have done, so we will start to migrate the data directly to the production environment. So once the backup is restored to the production with the changes that you have made on the instant boot session, you can continue with your work from the production site itself. So that's the instant boot. Yeah, it's simply, in simple words, like you perform instant boot, and during the instant boot is in live, in the background, you can perform the live migration, migrating this instant boot data to the production environment. So these are the new features that are coming in the version 5.0. And yeah, so we also enhanced some of the available feature. For example, so you have a lot of features in version 5.0. So just we took this and we have improved it to give even more additional functionalities to this existing one. So like we have totally enhanced the UI and user experience for the backup job configuration that you're going to witness in sometime. Yeah, in 15 to 20 minutes, I'll just show how you can configure the backups and the new interface for backup configuration. Then we have the application item level recovery from the GUI. So previously, if you want to recover an application object, so you need to install this Vembu Universal Explorer application, and then you have to recover the application items using this Vembu Universal Explorer. But we have integrated now into the backup server itself. You don't need to install the Vembu Universal Explorer separately. From the web console itself, you can specify the application and you can recover the application objects, the granular objects of these applications from the UI itself. Then, so we have optimized it where it left off feature. If the backup gets interrupted, it won't start afresh. It will continue from where it left. So this will be very useful in when taking this image level backups like VMware, Hyper-V, or disk image backups over a WAN. So there are a lot of partners taking the backup over the WAN. If the backup get interrupted previously, so it will start from the scratch again. But now it will be continue from where it left off. Okay. Then yeah, so we have improved the multi-tenancy support. And so yeah, for the portal, we are not only with the BDR, so we also made a significant changes in the Vembu portal. Yeah, I will show that during this demo. And yeah, and we have simplified the licensing and the license administration. Okay, so yeah, so we are based on the partners request, so we brought license changes in the license allocation. Okay, so we are bringing in auto license allocation. Now you can purchase the licenses and you can allocate the license to server whenever a new backup configured from the server. If the license is available on that particular server, it will be automatically allocated to the particular backups. Okay, and we're also bringing cloud allocation from the portal itself as a partner. So you can purchase the cloud storages from Vembu and you can allocate these storages to your partners. So you don't need to contact Vembu for allocating the storage to clients from your portal user interface itself. So you can just go to your accounts section and you can specify the server or the Cloudtier account, and you can allocate the amount of storage that you want to assign to your clients from the portal itself. So we have simplified it. Yeah, I will show everything during this live demo. And yeah, next we introduce the backup window setting at backup job level. Okay. So previously, the backup window setting is applicable only at the global level. So you can specify the backup window setting only at the backup server level. So yeah, if you set, if you don't want to run the backup at 9 to 5, so no backups will run during that particular particular time. But this is totally customizable at job level now. For example, you have some 20 jobs. You don't want 18 jobs to run in this backup window timing like 9 to 5, but there are some 2 critical jobs that you want to run, that you can customize from this backup window setting at job level. So we have a job level setting for job level backup window setting for all the jobs. When creating a backup job, you can specify whether you want to take the global setting, or you want to change the custom setting, or you don't. If you don't want any preferences, you want to run a particular backup job on the schedule irrespective of the backup window, so you can also set as the backup configuration during the backup configuration. Then we have this backup throttling support. So again, from the backup server itself, you can specify. So if you want to throttle the speed, so you can specify it from the backup server itself. Yeah, previously the backup throttling is applicable only for the backups that are configured from the clients. Now you can set up the bandwidth throttling. This is actually bandwidth throttling. So you can set up the bandwidth throttling in the backup server itself. Then yeah, so we started supporting file level restore for the dynamic disk. So previously only the basic disk are supported for the file level recovery. So you have to use other recovery options like instant boot or the disk mount to perform this file level recovery. Now the dynamic disk is also supported for the file level recovery. And yeah, so now you get an option to disable the compression and encryption for the backup repository. So during the backup repository creation itself, at the time of creating a backup repository, so you will get an option to disable the compression and encryption. So like for example, if you're using a storage appliances and if you don't want to use the software level compression and encryption, and you want to leverage on the hardware level encryption, at that time this feature comes in handy. So you can just disable the compression encryption and send the raw data to the storage appliance. The storage appliance will take care of the compression and encryption. Yeah, and along with this, so we also improved a different level of compression. So you can specify like low, optimal, and high level of compression. So the data will be compressed based on the settings you are selected in the compression level settings. Yeah, so these are the new features, new enhancements that are coming in version 5.0. And yeah, so along with this, so we also made significant changes in our free edition. So a lot of partner requested to implement some changes in the free edition. So yeah, so we keep that and in mind, and in this 5.0, so we have made some significant changes in the free edition also. So based on the partner request, we just reduced the free edition support for the workstations and desktops. So previously we gave unlimited free, but now it is reduced to 10. So partners can so grow their business or increase their revenue by the changes that we have made on the free editions. So I will explain everything, every changes that we have made on the free edition in the upcoming slides. Okay, and so these are the major features and enhancements that are coming in version 5.0. And yeah, so we also, so this also changed our product line. I will explain the product that we the product lines now, like so Vembu BDR Suite of products, right? So after adding all the new product support, so this is the new updated Vembu BDR Suite. So it supports backup and replication for VMware. Yeah, so everything you can do it from a single user interface. So that's the one advantage of BDR Suite over the other products in the market. Like, so everything in a single and comprehensive and a clutter-free user interface. Yeah, the first one is backup and replication for VMware from the BDR backup server itself. So you can configure the backup and replication for your VMware virtual machines. Then backup and replication for Hyper-V, so you can configure backup and also replicate the virtual machines from one Hyper-V host to another. Then you can configure the backup for Microsoft Windows, so image level backup for your Windows servers and workstations. Then you can configure the backup for your AWS EC2 instances. Then you can configure the backup for your Microsoft 365. So now you can configure backup for your mailbox, contacts, calendars, files and folders from OneDrive, SharePoint Online, Teams Online, Group Mailbox. Everything you can configure from a single backup server user interface. Then we support backup for Google Workspace, and yeah, backup for file servers. Like if you want to back up your particular files and folders from a Windows or Linux file server, so you can do it. We support backup for endpoints, and we support backup for applications. So this is the revamped BDR Suite product line. Okay, so and all this you can do it from a single user interface. So we have organized in a much better way. So you don't need a learning curve. So by seeing an on-screen instruction itself, you can configure the backup for everything. So next, yeah, so we support offset copy and DR. So the BDR Suite is primarily for the users who want to store the primary copy of the backup data into the local storage repository. It's a primary copy, and yeah, if you want, optionally you can send a copy of backup data to an offsite data center. So if you have an offsite data center, you can send a copy of backup data over there, or else in some partners they set the set up the on-premise backup repository in the client location, and they do the offset copy for their clients. In this case, you can deploy the Vembu offset DR in your data center and set up a replication for your client's data. So all the client's data will replicate it to your own your data center, and if something goes wrong with the client on-premise backup server, so you can help them in restoring the data from the offset DR server. So this is, if you have your own data center, you can set up this offset DR. And yeah, you can also use cloud DR. For example, if you don't have any offset setup, so you want to leverage cloud, and if you want to store this in a very hybrid manner, then you can offer Vembu Cloud DR. Like you have one copy of data at the local, that is on the primary backup server, and the secondary copy gets replicated to Vembu Cloud. Yeah, so this is the Vembu Cloud DR. And again, yeah, it is like one of the secure clouds. So this Vembu Cloud DR is based on AWS. Yeah, all your backup data is encrypted both during the transfer and also at the rest. Yeah, and yeah, so we have a band accelerated data transfer between the on-premise and the cloud service, and also for the offset DR. Okay, so yeah, this is the offset DR, and we have also revamped this Vembu Cloud BDR Suite. Again, it supports backup for file servers. It supports backup for file level backup for endpoints, cloud backup. It supports backup for applications. So you can backup your AWS EC2 instances. You can configure the backup for Microsoft 365 and Google Workspace. Actually, this Vembu Cloud BDR Suite does not require any installation. You just sign up for Vembu Cloud BDR Suite account, and once the account is created, So if you log in into the particular Cloud BDR Suite account, so you'll be provided with clients. Just download the client, install the client on the computer, the backup agents, and yeah, you can configure the backup. The backup data will directly come and get stored into the BDR cloud storage. Yeah, so Vembu cloud storage is based on AWS. So we have the servers running in the different region. So based on the geography, the data will go to the nearest data center. Yeah, and yeah, so these are the features like product support that are coming to the Vembu Cloud BDR Suite in future. Like we are planning to support direct cloud backup for VMware virtual machines, direct cloud backup for Hyper-V, and direct cloud backup for the image level backup for Windows servers and workstation directly to cloud. So these are coming in the upcoming releases of Vembu Cloud BDR Suite. Okay. So yeah, so these are the two major product line that we offer, and these are the changes in this product line. And yeah, so I would like to also explain you the products, the features and functionalities that are coming in the upcoming versions of Vembu, that is after version 5.0. So we are planning to release 5.x series like 5.1, 5.2. There are a lot of versions coming in the future. So these are the features that we have planned in the upcoming release. Like, so we are bringing in option to prioritize the VM backup order. So when selecting the VMs, so you can also specify the order. So which virtual machine has to be processed first, and then second, third. So you can specify the order. So the backup will be processed based on the order you are giving when creating a backup job. Then we are planning to bring support for agentless backup support for KVM hypervisors. So without installing any agent inside your KVM virtual machine, so you can take a backup of it. Then we are bringing in an option to run the custom pre and post commands at the backup job level. So when creating a backup job, at each and every backup job, you now get an option to run the pre and post commands. And then we are bringing in AD integration for the bulk deployment. So you can just integrate the Vembu BDR backup server with your AD. Then you can get the list of the computers and the users. You can push the agent or perform bulk deployment based on your Active Directory. Okay. Then we are bringing in live recovery to AWS and Azure. So yeah, now itself, even the version 5.0, you can perform the recovery to AWS and Azure. But yeah, there are some manual process involved. So you just have to download the virtual. You can download the backup data in virtual file format. Then you have to migrate it to the manually copy it to the AWS, and then you have to create a virtual machine on Azure or AWS. We are going to simplify it in the upcoming versions. Lively from the backup server UI, you can perform the recovery directly to the AWS or your Azure account. And yeah, centralized management of and monitoring of BDR servers. So we are working on revamping this BDR 360. Okay, so you will get the most feature-rich BDR 360 in the upcoming versions. You can configure the backups. You can manage and monitor all your backups and the backup servers from this single BDR 360 console itself. Yeah, now this BDR 360 in a beta stage. So if you are using the BDR 360 now, so the renewals are free until it's officially released. The stable version of BDR 360 is released. Yeah, you can, and yeah, so if you want, so you can just, you might have already tried out the BDR 360. So if you have any features that you want to implement, so you can just directly send these new features to your account managers. So yeah, so based on the features that we're getting from our partners, so we prioritize the development of this BDR 360. And yeah, so centralized management of granular backups. So like now, if you want to configure a backups for your file servers or application, so the backup has to be processed. You have to deploy the backup agents, and you have to configure the backup from the agent. But yeah, so we are bringing it to the backup server itself. So from the backup server itself, UI itself, you can deploy the agent onto the multiple target machines, and you can configure the backup for the files and folders and application from the BDR server UI. and we are also planning to enhance the portal it is going to be improved, so you can do a lot of functionalities like the licensing and managing functionalities. So we are going to improve in the portal, and so we are planning to bring in the cluster and load balancing support for the backup servers. So you can have multiple backup server connected in a clustered manner. If one of the backup server goes down, so the operations, the functionalities of this will be taken care by a different backup server. And you can also specify if you're having multiple networks in your environment. If you want to dedicate a network, a particular network to the backups, that you can do it from the backup server UI itself. So yeah, even now you can dedicate a network. So you have to make some changes in the configuration files, or you have to contact the support engineer to do it for you. But yeah, we are going to bring an option that you can do these functionalities from the UI itself. And yeah, secondary backup support is coming, and so a lot of features are coming in the upcoming versions of Vembu. So with this, so we can directly jump into the live demo, and we'll show how the Vembu BDR version 5.0 in action. So guys, deploying Vembu version 5.0 is again pretty simple and straightforward. So you can download the exe directly from our website. So this is the RC. So right now Vembu is in RC, so we are planning to release the GA of version 5.0 in 1 or 2 days. So you can, once the GA is released, so you can also upgrade your existing installation to the latest 5.0. But yeah, immediately if you want to do, it is available only for the fresh installation. So just download the version 5.0 RC from our website and install it on your computer and get started with this using the 5.0. Okay, and yeah, it's just a simple exe. Just download this exe and install it on one of your computers. So right now this RC is available only for the Windows deployment, and yeah, during the GA in a couple of days, so you can get the build for the Windows and also for the Linux deployment. So if you want to perform a fresh installation on Linux, or if you want to upgrade an existing installation, Linux installation, so you can do it once the GA is released. Actually, so the objective of this webinar is to give an overview to all our partners before the GA is released. Okay? And yeah, so you can get to see the new features and functionalities that are coming in version 5.0 in the website itself. So if you're planning to upgrade your existing installation, so we are planning to give a release notes, and we are planning to give a checklist, upgrade checklist. Yeah, so kindly make sure you read all this before upgrading your backup server to the latest version. Yeah, so it's pretty simple and straightforward. Just download the exe, run an on-top installation, or perform the fresh installation on your computer. So for this demo, I have already installed Vembu on one of my computer. So the installation will take around only 4 to 5 minutes. So once the installation gets completed, you can get started with the backup configuration. So I hope you can see one of my computer. So I have already downloaded and installed the latest version of Vembu in this computer. So after installing the Vembu BDR backup server, you will get a shortcut like this. So just click and open it. Again, we are still on the web-based console. So yeah, just open it. It will open in your browser. Yeah, this is how the login page will look like. So you have to provide the login credential and to log in into this application. So the admin and admin are the default username and password. However, you can customize this during the installation, or else after the installation, you can just go to the console and you can create new users with a different level of privileges. Okay. So this is the new and updated user interface of Vembu version 5.0. So here you can see, right, you can configure the backup for everything from a single user interface. You can configure backup for VMware, Hyper-V, Windows servers and workstation. You can configure backup for AWS. You can configure the backup for Microsoft 365, Google Workspace, file servers, endpoints, and application. Everything you can configure from this UI itself. So yeah, so it's purely VMware, Hyper-V, AWS, Microsoft 365, Google Workspace. You can do it from this user interface. Only for the file server and application backup, so you have to first install the agent on the client machine, and then you have to configure the backup from that agent. And again the clients are also having this web-based console, so you can configure the backups by just providing the IP address of the client followed by the applications, the client port number. You can get an client user interface and configure the backup from anywhere. Okay, so we'll just see the new features and functionalities. So I'm just going to give a small demonstration. So in this demo, we are going to create a VMware backup job. So I will explain the new features that are coming in version 5.0 when creating a backup job. Yeah, so here you can see, right? So first step is you need to do an infrastructure setting. Now first you have to click on this VMware Hyper-V Windows. Then you have to do some settings on the infrastructure. The first is the storage repository. So now you can create only the block storage repository in the upcoming version, the next release. So you will also use an object storage as like AWS S3 or S3 compatible storage as a repository to store your backup data. Okay, so for now it is only block storage. So just click on block storage. So in this block storage, you can use a local drive or NAS network attached or drives or any shared drives, or even if you have any SAN, you can use these local drives to store your backup data. These block storage devices to store your backup data. Again, creating a backup repository. So we still support scale out storage and storage pooling. So if you have different storage volumes like one local drive, one NAS drive, you can create a storage pool by clubbing these different storage mediums, and you can use them to store your backup data. Okay, yeah, to create a new repository, just click on this create new block storage repository button. First you need to give a name for your repository, and yeah, so this is one of the new features, like 3 different storage repository support. So previously we don't have any repository type, so by default it will be goes to the scale out. Now you have this option like simple, scale out, and disk rotation. Simple is like if you just want to use a single storage volume to store the backup data, so you can go for the simple repository. Or else if you want to scale out based on the data growth, so we recommend you to go with the scale out option. If you select scale out option, so you will get an option to choose multiple drives for a backup repository. So I'm choosing 3 volumes now. The data will first go to the D drive. Then once the D drive gets filled, it will go to the E drive and to the H drive. So yeah, and yeah, so if you create a scale out repository later, if this storage get filled, so if you can edit and add a new volumes to it. Okay, and yeah, once you add a new volume, the backup will continue. Okay. And yeah, disk rotation. So if you want to use an external drives to store your backup data, so yeah, you can use the disk rotation, and yeah, you can swap the disk regularly. So, and yeah, it's one of the hot backup method. Yeah, if you want to keep a backup data in a isolated location, then you can use this disk rotation. You can just select a disk, take a backup. The data will go to the particular drive, and once the backup gets completed, so you can just unplug from the backup server and keep it in a different location. Then use a different drive for backup, and you can swap these disks on a regular basis. Yeah, so, and you can also see this checkbox, right? So now you can disable the compression and encryption for this repository. So when you select this option, the data will be sent to the backup server without any kind of compression and encryption. And this will be very useful if you are leveraging on the hardware level deduplication or compression. So these are the changes that we have made on this repository creation. Yeah, and yeah, so you can just specify the repository type, just give a name for the repository, choose the volumes, and create a storage repository. So I have already created a repository. If you want to expand this scale out repository, it's again simple. You can just click on this edit button, specify the new volume, and click on update. So it updates the storage repository. So now the backup will first go to the E drive. Once the E drive gets filled, it will go to the H drive. And you can see the total space of this repository. So yeah, you can also add and manage your network drives. So just click on this manage network drives option. So you can just click on add network drive as a storage volume. So you can specify the drive path, give a name for your drive, and just specify the username and password and click on save. So it will add the network volume to your backup server. So again, you can use this network volume for one of your repositories. Okay, so this is with the this is the first step that you have to do after installing this version 5.0. Yes, and these are some basic settings, like if you want to configure the email reporting, so you have to do this SMTP or web proxy, or if you want to change the time zone, so you can do it from here. By default, it will take the mission time zone, and now you don't get an option to change the time zone, so you can just review the time zone from here. And next is the data source. To configure a backup for any objects in your data center, first you need to add the server or host to the Vembu application. So yeah, here you can see, right? So you have an option to add a VMware server, a Hyper-V server, or a Windows server. Okay, so you can directly add all this from this UI itself, and you can configure the backup for it. Okay. So to add a VMware Hyper-V, just click on Add VMware vSphere. Just click on ESXi and vCenter. Yeah, first you need to add a host by clicking on this button. Just provide the ESXi server. It can be ESXi or vCenter. Just specify ESXi or vCenter and provide the IP address of the ESXi or vCenter, and just click on add credential and just save. So this is the new the data source user interface, where you can see everything: the total number of hosts in a server, total number of VMs in a server, and the number of VMs that has been already backed up and being replicated. You can see it's a small dashboard where you can see all the details of the added host here. Okay, so you can add multiple hosts and you can see all the detail in the screen. So once the host is added, you're good to go with the backup configuration. To configure a backup, just click on this backup, click on configure backup, click on VMware vSphere. Okay, so here you can also see, right? So you can see this manage backup job template. So this option will allow you to create multiple templates with the backup settings, the backup job settings, and you can use these templates when creating a backup job. So it is going to simplify this backup job creation process. So just click on list backup job templates. So I'm having 4 templates here. So this is for VMware, and 2 different templates for Hyper-V, and 1 is for Windows Server. We can use this template when creating a backup job. So we can create a backup job from the scratch, or else we can load all the settings from this template. So you can create a template also. Creating template, again, simple. Just go to manage backup job template, click on create new backup job template. So yeah, you have to just give a name for the template type. So it's a VMware Hyper-V. You have to create the template. I'm just creating VMware. So yeah, you need to specify the repository for this particular template. So it will, if you have multiple repositories, all the repositories will be listed here. Yeah, so these are some options if you want to use an existing template, or you want to create a template from scratch. So you can just give and click on next. So first you need to specify the disk exclusion settings. So if you want to exclude any particular disk or VMs when selecting this template, so you can just select the disk or VM exclusion settings here. So yeah, I'm just including all the disk. Then if you want to set up the guest processing, so if you want to recover successful processing, you can choose it here. Like by default, it will does not perform the application aware processing. So you can just set up this, and it is always recommended to enable the application aware processing and make sure the application is successfully processed before taking the snapshot. And you can also truncate the transaction logs. Then click on guest credential. So yeah, to perform the application aware processing, so you need to provide the credentials of the VM. So you can just select the credentials of the entire host. If the credential differs, so you can customize during the backup job configuration. Yeah, if you want to quiz the VMs before taking a backup, so you can just enable it. So by default, the quizzing will be enabled for all the virtual machines. So if you want, you can just customize and remove or disable the quizzing for particular virtual machines if you don't need. And this is scheduling. So you can create a schedules for the incremental backup. So by default, the first time it will run the full backup, and in the successive schedule, it runs the incremental backups, only the incremental changes. So we have totally modified this incremental backup schedule. So we just see it when during the backup job creation, so we can see this the details. So you can just select the schedule, select the retention settings, and yeah, so we have some encryption settings. So we have some advanced settings. So you can select all the settings and create a templates using this setting. So this is the VMware 02 is my template. Just click on save. So you can create multiple templates like this, and you can use this template when creating a backup job. So now we'll go and see the steps in creating a backup job. So just click on backup, click on configure backup, click on VMware vSphere. Yeah, so now you can see this option, right? Create backup job without using a template, or create job using a template. So if you select this create a backup job using a template, it will show you the available VMware templates. So you can just select one of the template, and when you click on next, so all the settings will be loaded from the template itself. So you don't need to specify all the settings again. So just create template once, and you can use this template for multiple times when creating a backup job. Yeah, but for this demonstration, I'm going to create a backup job without using a template. So just give a select the first option, then just give VMware demo. I'm going to select this repository. So if you have multiple repository, you can choose one and just give a description to identify this, why you created this backup job, what this backup job is for. Click on next. In the screen, you need to select the entities you want to backup. So like I said earlier, right? So in a single job, you can select the virtual machines from different hosts for the backups. So previously you have to select onto the particular host, and it will list out only the VMs in the particular host for the backup processing. But now it lists out all the hosts. You can just select the virtual machines you want to backup. You can. I'm selecting VMs from a different host in a single job. So after selecting the VMs, then click on next. So next is the exclusion setting. So if you want to exclude any virtual machines or disk, you can exclude from here. And yeah, these settings are like how it was in previously. So in the 4.2, so it's the same setting here, this exclusion. But yeah, it is more simplified here. So you can just edit this, and you can apply a different exclusion rule for each and every virtual machines. So you can just select a common rule for all the VMs, or else if you want to customize it, so you can use this edit button alongside the virtual machine that you have selected. Yeah, the guest processing. So this guest processing, again, you can customize the guest processing setting for each and every virtual machine that you selected from backup in this UI itself. So just click on this action button. So you can set up the guest processing for each and every VM. So it's a granularly you can modify the setting, or else if you want to change the setting globally for all the VM selected, so you just select this top checkbox, and yeah, so just top check this checkbox, and you can edit the guest processing. Okay, then click on next. So to set up enable the guest processing, you need to specify the credentials of the VM. Yeah, just click on apply credentials. I'm commonly applying this credential for all the VMs, or else if you want, if the credential of the VM differs, you can customize by selecting this action button again. Like this. And click on next. So if you want to quiz the virtual machines before taking a backup, so yes, you can enable the quizzing for all the VMs, or you can enable the quizzing for particular virtual machines. Then the incremental backup schedule. So we have improved the schedule in the version 5.0. So yeah, you can see, right, you can run the backup job manually every time if you want to run it's an on-demand backup. So whenever there is a requirement to run the backup, you can go to the list backup job screen, and you can run the backups. You can run the backup one time every few hours, daily, weekly, monthly. Even now you can change the backups. So if you want this particular backup job to run after a particular schedule, you can just select the after backup option and specify another backup job. So I'm just selecting this VMware backup. So this particular backup will run after running this VMware BCK. Okay. Yeah, I'm just selecting every few hours. So yeah, you can specify on which day you want to run the backup. Then now you have this option in running the synthetic full backup. So just enable this, okay? And you can specify the schedule for the synthetic full backup. When you select synthetic full backup, so we create a full backup by merging the previous incremental and the full backup. Okay. If it is a additional full backup, means we create a new snapshot and create a fresh full backup for you. So that's the difference between the synthetic and additional full backup. Okay. Yeah, synthetic, if you select additional full backup, it will take some time. That depends on the size of the virtual machine and all other settings. Synthetic full backup is much easier way of taking an additional full backup. Is it taking another full copy of a backup? Then you have this advanced setting here. So yeah, this is the backup window setting. So backup window at a job level. So by default, I'm having a global backup job setting. So if you want, you can use this setting, or you can customize the backup window settings. Or if you don't want this, if you want this backup job to run without any intervention, so you can just select the no preference. So the backup job will run as per the current schedule. So that's the backup window settings. And now we also haven't introduced the validity for the backup. Like if you don't want this backup to run after 20 days, so you can just select the validity expiry date here. So after the 30 days, the backup job will not run. And yeah, we also improved the GFS, the overall retention policy. So in the basic retention, we have introduced a version-based retention. You can specify the number of recovery points you want to retain. So every incremental is one recovery point. So you can just on version. So you can just specify the number of version to retain, or else you can specify for how long period, for how many days you want to retain the backup data. You can specify it from here. So this is the basic retention. You can also do the GFS merge here. So you can just run this GFS with a full backup or GFS with the incremental. And yeah, when you select the particular such option, so you will get other sub options here, like how many number of daily copies you want to retain and how many number of weekly copies and when you want to perform this weekly merge. So likewise, so you have a lot of granular settings to set up the GFS retention policy for your backups. Then you have this encryption. So if you want to encrypt your backup data, so you can enable this and set up the encryption. So by default, it will take you to the system generated. So you don't need to specify any key. So in a system generated way of encrypting your backup data, or else if you want, you can set up this custom encryption key. So you need to provide a password. All your backup data, the data block is encrypted using this set password. And yeah, so if you're going for a custom encryption, you need this password when modifying the backup job or restoring the backup data. And yeah, then click on next. So the next is the backup proxy. So the backup proxy is to distribute the load. So if you want this particular backup job to be processed by a proxy server, then just enable this proxy and you need to select the proxy server. So right now I don't have a proxy. So if you have a proxy server, you can just select the proxy server and click on next. So the backup server, the backup is processed by the particular proxy server. If the proxy server is not available, no worries, the backup server will take care. Yeah, so that's all. Review the configurations you have selected. If everything is fine, just go ahead and click on save. A new backup job will create it. The backup will run as per the schedule. Okay, so you can just review all the backup job in this list job page. Yeah, previously, and yeah, so this is the backup, and the second one is the replication. So you already aware of this VM replication for the VM virtual machines. Now we have introduced the replication for the Microsoft Hyper-V. Okay, so you can just you first need to add the source host. From where you want to replicate the VM. So you can just select the virtual machines you want to replicate. Then you have to select the target and yeah, create a name for this replication job and save the job. So the VMs will be replicated from one Hyper-V host to another. And yeah, so it will be in a standby mode. If something goes wrong, you can just go to the failover and fail back and fail over the replicated VM. Okay, just click on this restore replica. And you can start the failover. You can initiate the failover and you can continue with your work on the replicated VM. Yeah, so we also improve the tape backups. So we bring a lot of fixes in the tape backup, a lot of new enhancements to the tape archive. Coming to recovery, so yeah, so here again we bring a lot of improvements in the recovery operations, a lot of changes and improvements. Yeah, just take this VMware backup again as an example. Just click on restore. So here you can see that multiple recovery options available here. So yeah, so when you perform this instant boot, so now you get an option to manage the instantly booted VM. So when you perform an instant boot, once the machine is booted, okay, you can now directly perform the live migration. So now we boot this VM. So we boot this one of this VM now. We perform this instant boot. I'm booting in the name of demo. Power on this VM automatically. Okay, then review, and I initiate the restore. So let this restore happen. So we'll see the other such restore options. Okay. Okay. So restore is in operation now. Yeah, we see other options, other recovery options. Just click on restore. So the first one is the instant boot VM that you already have. So the data will be restored directly from the backup storage itself. And the next one is a full VM recovery disk mount. So these are the same recovery options like in the older version of Vembu. So the new recovery options are this application granular recovery option. So now instead of using this Vembu User Explorer, now you can perform the application object level recovery directly from the UI itself. So if you have any applications running inside the selected VM, and if you want to restore the application objects such as Microsoft Exchange or SQL or Active Directory or SharePoint, you can just select the particular recovery option and you can initiate the restore directly from the UI itself. So that's the change that we have made in the restore setting. And yeah, so we'll see once this instant boot is done. So you can see the manage instantly booted VMs. So okay, this machine is instantly booted now. So during this operation itself, so you can perform the live migration. So when you click on action, so it will allow you to migrate the instantly booted VM directly to the production environment. So just selected VM, you have to select, you can restore to the same or different hypervisor. I'm just selecting a different hypervisor, and you need to select the data store. Just select the data store and just give a target VM name. So this will first check for the compatibility, and it will start to migrate the VM to the production environment. The instantly booted VM, now you can directly migrate to your production environment with all the changes that we have made on the instant boot session. And yeah, so we have improved the report. So the reports now shows you a lot of information about the backup job and the VMs that are configured in the backup job. So this is the dashboard where you can see the activities of the particular backup server here. So this Hyper-V, it's scheduled today itself, and this Windows Server backup is failing for some days. You can just click on this and you can find the reason for the failure. Okay, and yeah, the status of the particular backup job. So this VMware backup job is successful all the days. You can just review, just click on this button and you can see the status. Yeah, you can also see the VMware host level that backup report. There are the 4 VMs that are being backup is configured for 4 of the VMs. So you can see all the VMs here. Just click on success. The button, you can see the status. So this is failed for some time and it is successfully completed on the schedule. You can see again, it contains a lot of information like the original size of the backup, the compressor size, what is the data reduction, everything you can see it from this page itself. Yeah, so we have improve the reporting option here, and coming to management, so these are some basic settings. And coming to offset DR, again setting up offset DR is again pretty simple. So just click on offset DR, So you have to first download and install the Vembu Obsidian in one of your server, and then you provide the IP address of the server here. Just click on test connection, and you'll be able to replicate the data from this backup server to the offsite DR server. And in the offsite DR server itself, you will get the same set of recovery options. Yeah, so these are the major features and functionalities that we brought in the VMware. And now you can also configure the backup for your AWS. Again, configuring the backup for AWS is pretty simple and straightforward. First, you need to add the data source. First, you need to add the AWS account. So just make sure you have an internet connection in this particular backup server to configure AWS and Microsoft 365 backups. Just click on add AWS account. So yeah, so you need the two access key ID and the secret access key to add your account. Okay, so you can see the steps in the right side of your screen to generate the access ID and the access secret key. So just go to the Amazon Web Console and follow this 12-step instructions. So once you have done everything, so you will get the secret key and access ID. So just provide it and click on save. So it will add your AWS account. So once the AWS account is added, so you can see I've added one of the AWS account here. You can now click on backup and configure the backup for your EC2 instances. So just click on configure backup. First, you need to select the account. Just I'm selecting the Vembu account, and you need to select the region. After selecting the region, just click on list instance. It will list out all the AWS EC2 instances running in the particular region. You have to just select the EC2 instance that you want to backup, and you can schedule the full backup and incremental backups. You can set up the schedule for this backup and create a new backup jobs. So once the instances are listed, so you can just select the virtual machine, and there is a button to configure the backup. So just click on the configure backup and create a backup for your instance. Okay. So yeah, so we'll see this later. I'll just check with my team for the instances, and I will show you that now later. Yeah, before that, we'll see how to configure the backup for this Microsoft 365. So just click on Microsoft 365 and Google Workspace. Again, first you need to add your Microsoft 365 organization or Google Workspace to this account. So just click on data source, click on add Microsoft 365 organization. So we'll see how to configure the backup for Microsoft 365 now. Just click on add Microsoft 365 organization. Again, to add in Microsoft 365, you need three details, like the organization name is anything you can give, and you need a tenant ID, application ID, and application password. Again, in the right side of the screen, so you will see an instruction to generate the tenant ID, application ID, and application password. So just refer to this step, get all the details from your Azure portal, and yeah, just mention it here. Just copy paste all the details here and click on save. It will add your Microsoft 365 account to the backup server. Once it is added, just click on backup, click on configure backup, click on Microsoft 365. So just give any name for this backup job. This user I'm giving. You select the repository, just give any description. Next. So here it shows an option like you want to create a backup for the entire organization, or you want to backup only the selected objects. So yeah, if you select the entire organization, everything in that particular organization will be backed up, like the user mailbox, group mailbox, SharePoint sites, and Teams. Everything will be backed up, and you have to specify the retention policy and scheduling for each and everything in the upcoming steps, next steps. So I'm now selecting the entire organization. Just click on start backup configuration. So you have this option. So it's an incremental frequency, how you want to backup this mailboxes. So you want to backup daily or every few hours or weekly, you have to select this, and then you need to specify the retry attempt. If the backup gets failed, so how many times you want to retry, and what is the frequency for this retry attempt, so you can specify it from here. Next, you can specify the settings like retention, compression. If you want to enable the compression, you just enable to save space in the storage repository, and then you can specify the retention. So you can set up the retention for each and every objects here. Like you can set up the retention for mailbox, OneDrive, SharePoint items, group mailbox, and everything you can specify retention for each and every object individually, and then click on next. Just review and click on save the backup. Okay, so this is like you're backing up the entire organization. If you want to go for a granular backup, again, that is also possible. Just click on the selected objects and click on next. So you have to select each and everything now. First, you have to select the domain. Then you have to select all the users, or you want to select the specific users. Just select specific users. All the users will be listed. So you can select a backup for one more users in a single backup job. Just select the users you want to backup. So if you want to select all the users, just select this checkbox, or else select the individual users. Then click on next. So like if you want to backup your group OneDrive, just select this group calendar and group conversation, then click on next. Just SharePoint. So if you want to back up the SharePoint sites, yeah, it will list all the SharePoint sites of the particular account. Just select the SharePoint sites you want to backup, then click on next. So next it will show you the team chats. Just select the teams that you want to backup, then click on next, and again the normal scheduling option. So you have to select the scheduling for the incremental backup, and you need to specify the compression and the retention settings, and just review the job and click on save. So once the job runs, it will just communicate with the Microsoft 365 cloud and back up the selected user mailbox and other application objects. To restore an application, to restore this Microsoft 365 or Google Workspace, again, it's pretty simple. Just click on this recovery button. You can see the backup jobs that are configured for your Microsoft and 365, Microsoft 365 and Google Workspace in this particular tab. So just click on restore, and you'll be able to restore the entire object or individual objects. Like you can restore the user mailbox or shared mailbox, SharePoint sites, or Teams. I'm just selecting the user mailbox here. Just click on start restore. You have to select the organization, then restore version. You have to choose the restore point, and you have to choose the mailbox. So I'm just selecting one mailbox here. So you want to restore the mailbox, or you want to restore the mails, you can choose. If it is select the restore mailbox, it will restore the entire mailbox. Or if you want to granularly restore a particular mails, just click on restore mails. So you can just select the entire inbox, or if you want to restore a particular mails from an inbox, just click on expand this. You can see a particular mails, right? Just select the mails you want to restore. Then you have multiple options here. You can download the backup data as a PST. You can restore this data to a same user account, or if you want to restore to a different user account, you can also just select these kinds of restore details. Yeah, I'm just selecting a different user account and click on apply. The data will go and get stored in this particular user. Okay, we will create a new folder in the target user, and then we'll restore the data there. So this is similar for the Microsoft, similarly like how you configure the backup for Microsoft 365, you can configure the backup for this Google Workspace. So just click on configure backup, click on Google Workspace. First you need to, before configuring the backup for the Google Workspace, first you need to add the Google Workspace account to your backup server. So just click on add Google Workspace organization. Again, you need to follow the instruction given in the right side of your screen. So you need to provide the admin email and a private key. And once you click on save, it will add the organization. Once the organization is added, you can create a backup for the Google users. Again, so we have this cumulative report that will show you all the details of a particular schedule. Okay, and file server backup, again, it's pretty simple. You just have to download the client, install a client in the target machine, and you can configure the backup using the client. It's similar to how you configure the backup in version 4.2. The detail is when you click on this particular tab, so you can see only the file server, endpoint, and application backup separately in this particular screen. Okay. Yeah. So this is with the latest version 5.0. Yeah. So if you have any questions, just please feel free to type in the the chat box. So our representatives are answering your questions, so they will answer you. Okay. Yeah, so we'll see one more major change that we have made in the portal. So the portal, just go to portal.vembu.com. So just log into So yeah, this is one of my test account. So yeah, actually I'm having a lot of accounts in this test account. So if you want to allocate a cloud storage to one of the users, so you can just go to the particular user, this account, and yeah, so this is a cloud user. Just click on Cloud BDR Suite. So here you can see this option, right? Allocate cloud storage plan. Just allocate the cloud storage plan, and you can allocate the particular cloud storage to this user. So before that, you need to purchase the cloud storage from Vembu. For example, you can purchase a 2 terabyte of storage from Vembu, and you can distribute this cloud storage to a different accounts under your portal. Yeah, first you need to use it, and the subscription will be start from the day you allocate. You start consuming this storage space. Like, so this is also for the Cloud BDR Suite, and also if your customers are using Cloud DR, so you can also allocate this cloud storage for using the Cloud DR. Okay. And license allocation is also we have made a significant changes in the license allocation. First, all the licenses under your account will be listed here. So just select the backup server. It's an on-premise license. So once the license are listed, you can just select the license. You can send the license to the host assigned. Okay, you have to send the license to the server. Once the licenses are assigned to the server, you can just select the host or VM. Okay, and you can allocate the license to this particular server. Yeah, so you can pre-allocate the license to a servers whenever a new backup job is configured. If the license is already available in the particular server, the license will be automatically allocated to the particular backups. So this is the changes. Actually, so we are making a user guide for the portal accounts. A separate user guide will be delivered to all the partners once the GA is released. So we have a separate portal user guide with all the steps and instructions in managing the licenses and everything in a user guide manner. So we will send it to you. So it will give a lot of information about the purchasing and managing the licenses. A separate user guide is available for the reseller account, distributor account, and MSP accounts. Yeah, so these are the changes that we have made in the portal for this version 5.0. And yeah, so in the upcoming versions, so we'll also see a lot more changes coming in the Vembu BDR Suite of products. So that, guys, so that's all from my side. And if you want to get started with this Cloud BDR Suite, again, it's pretty simple and straightforward. So just go to vembu.com. products, click on Cloud BDR Suite. So you can sign up an account and you can get started with using this Vembu Cloud BDR Suite. Okay, so initially you will get a 30 days of trial and 10 GB of free cloud storage. So after that, you can purchase the cloud storage for your client and you can allocate the licenses to them. So every client that you're signing up will get a 30 days of free trial in testing the Vembu Cloud BDR Suite. Yeah, so that's all from my side. Actually, so the GA is not released yet, so it will be released in 1 or 2 days. So once the GA is released, so you can ask your existing customers to upgrade to the latest version. Yeah, so that depends. So guys, so that's all from my side. So if you have any questions, so you can just type in all the questions in your Q&A box. So I'm already seeing your questions are being answered. Yeah, so we'll continue to answer now.
Thank you for that detailing session, Nivas. So hello all. So thank you for joining in with Vembu. And as you see, like on the screen, we have the details. Like if you want to contact us or regarding a separate feature detail or something, you can just contact us through the numbers which is displayed over there, or you can contact regarding the pricing and details. You can contact this Vembu sales and account. So anyways, post the call. Like your account manager will be dropping you with some details, required details, and we also seen some questions and question and answers in the question box that has to be discussed with the engineering team, and the account managers respectively will revert back to you with all such details through an email. So now the question and answer session has been open for another 5 minutes. If anyone has any doubts, you can drop in your questions there, or if you want to separately contact your team members like account managers of Vembu, you can just contact through. So as Nivas stated, the GA release of Vembu will be in a couple of days available generally. So you can see that through the website, and moreover, I hope every account manager will be also dropping you a mail with its release update. Okay. So thank you one and all for staying towards Vembu, and also stay tuned with the website to get an update regularly. And yes, as I said, the portal is open for now. You can stay away till then. Thank you.
Yeah, guys, thanks for your interest. Thanks for joining this session with me. Okay, so if you have any question, you can just directly contact your account manager, or else if you want a detailed one-to-one demo to specifically discuss any requirements of your any of your client requirements, so we can just contact your account manager, so they will arrange a separate session and we can discuss your requirements in detail. Bye. And yeah, so the recorded copy is available. So if you want the recorded copy of this session, you can just contact your account manager, so they will send the recorded copy to you. Yeah, thank you, and have a nice day.